Welcome back to the Capitol Review. President Biden is in France this week to commemorate the 80th anniversary of D-Day. Thursday, the president attended a ceremony with a group of World War II veterans. Friday, the president gave another speech from Normandy, focusing on democracy, freedom, and the role he thinks America should play on the global stage.
American democracy asks the hardest of things, to believe that we're part of something bigger than ourselves. So democracy begins with each of us. It begins when one person decides there's something more important than themselves.
Joining us to break it all down is White House correspondent for The Hill, Alex Gangitano. And Alex, first of all, welcome back.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Happy Friday.
Well, the president, happy Friday to you. The president and the White House have made a couple of moves regarding the war in Ukraine since he went overseas. What have those moves been, and how have they been received?
Yeah, so earlier this morning in France, the president sat down with Ukrainian President Zelensky, and he announced that he wants to send another $225 million aid package to Ukraine to help with their war against Russia's invasion. So far, we've seen a lot of these aid packages get held up in Congress. The last one was held up for months over, Republicans pushing back on if that needed to be included with Israel aid, if you remember, and a lot of negotiations there to get this across the finish line. So we'll, I'm sure, see pushback from at home here from Republicans who are wondering why we have to send, more money to Ukraine, especially while we're sending and helping out Israel as well. But what was interesting is the president, in talking to Zelensky and telling him about this aid package, he also apologized for the delay in the last aid package. I think, in part to take some of the blame off of him and say, that I'm sorry about what went on in Congress to not get you that aid, but also as a way to maybe show Zelensky this one might take a little bit shorter to get to you. So we'll see what comes out of that.
Well, Alex, the president also talked a lot about what role America should play internationally. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so then after that Zelensky meeting, we saw him go to Point du Hoc, and there he talked a lot about America on the global stage. We heard him talk about, America greatness is not a thing of the past. Of course, that's kind of a subtle stab at former President Trump's slogan, "Make America Great Again." He's basically saying, I refuse to believe that America is not great. We also heard the president talk a lot about democracy, a lot about the role in terms of alliances that America plays and how we have to stand with our alliances. That's another stab at former President Trump, because he has his American first, more isolationism agenda, whereas the president has worked hard to focus on these global alliances. So there's a lot of digs there without using Trump by name, but a lot of Biden's vision of where he sees America on the world stage, which is as a leader, but also part of this overall alliance with countries like France. And he uses what went on in World War II, what went on at the D-Day landings as the backdrop to all of this, to say, these veterans didn't sacrifice so much and were so brave for us to just, not accept democracy, not fight for it.
And Alex, has the Biden campaign been able to capitalize on these events and the president being on the world stage?
Yeah, they're definitely trying to. So yesterday we saw an ad dropped from the Biden campaign that basically featured 3 veterans, more recent veterans, not World War II, but these men were saying that Trump's a draft dodger, they called him. They also said that he's selfish, he only cares about his own interests. So, coming from right from veterans, I think this was the Biden's attempt to send a really strong message of the president is on the side with the military, on the side with people that have defended America and fought on the world stage, to try to differentiate from former President Trump. We'll see if that sticks. We'll see if Americans are resonating with that ad when they see it online or on their televisions. But so far, they're definitely trying to monopolize and take advantage of the president, the focus on the president overseas right now.
Does the president have any other plans while he's in Europe?
Yeah, so tomorrow we're going to see him head to France for an official state visit with French President Macron. That will look like all the kind of pomp and circumstances that we see when a world leader comes to DC for an official state visit. It's always kind of fun and exciting to look at, but there's also going to be some important conversations. I think they're obviously going to talk about the war in Ukraine. They're going to talk about the war in the Middle East. So we'll see if there's some deliverables out of that. I think we're expecting the president to make some remarks around midday our time tomorrow.